Hello and welcome to ZeroPoint Energy, with a 0 point what we talk about, just as much energy. I'm Sean.
And this is Jorge.
And tonight we go on a journey where there's no light, no sound. We are entering the ever after.
That's the place where the spirits live, according to Makoto Shinkai. Shinkai, in his newest film from 2023, Suzume no Tojimari, also known in English as just Suzume.
Yes, it's the 2022.
Ah, shit. Okay,
we didn't
my fault.
get it in the U.S. until 2023, but the 2022, the movie is Suzume. Shoot.
Closer.
Ah.
Don't
he told me
swab-
to put it closer, so I decided to deep throat it.
And that's a preview for next week where we're going to do Deep Throat.
Yeah, fun times.
Moving on.
So this was a great movie from the director who brought you the great movies such as Your Name in 2016, Weathering with You in 2019. He had a couple of other really good ones, which I'm spacing on the name of right now.
Was Belle his too, or no?
No, Bell was not his, but I think he helped with it.
Hold
I'm
on.
not positive.
Let's see. Alright, we have Makoto Shinkai. His works include
The World Be Enclosed,
which he was a writer for.
Other Worlds. The one he his first that he got famous for was the She and Her Cat. Voices of a Distant Star, which is a really good short movie. I actually own that one. That one's pretty cool. Igeo, or Mina no Ota. That was a decent short film too. The Place Promised in Our Early Days. 5 centimeters per second. Children Who Chase Lost Voices. Someone's Gaze. The Garden of Words.
You're not loud enough, bro.
I am more than loud enough. I can hear it, buddy.
Okay, look at mine and compared to yours, buddy. See?
Hey, I hear me, which means it's good.
No! Look at how small your spikes are, okay? Compared to me, you are not loud enough. I will have to go.
My voice is deeper than yours. Look at my top bar. See how I'm peaking higher than you are?
Barely. See, look, I'm at 18. You're at like 24. No,
Well, if I put the microphone like this, then how
that's better. There you go.
I'm going to hold it back here, though.
Bruh.
You know, I can fix this, though. Is that better for you?
Hold on. Let's see.
Hi. Hello.
Okay.
I just turned my microphone up a little bit.
Fine. This is going in. I'm tight. I'm too tired.
That's right. Always leave it in. Technical issues. We switched microphones with each other today because we were doing an experiment. Usually the very sensitive, nice Sterling microphone that I use is the one Jorge is using today. And I am using a Pro line, which is the one Jorge's normally on, which is the Guitar Center Special. They're good microphones, but they are the cheap ones you get from Guitar Center.
Yes, you need to fill it a little more with it.
Yeah, a little bit, but still pretty good.
Agreed.
It works. I can turn myself up just a tiny bit more. There we go. Much better.
Finally, I won't have to go through the entire thing putting the amplification on your voice.
Yay!
Anyways, back to Makoto Shinkai.
I think I left off on the Garden of Words.
No, 5 centimeters per second.
5 meters per second. Children Who Chase Lost Voices. Someone's Gaze. The Garden of Words. Your Name. Weathering with You. And Suzume. All great movies and short films.
Now for the Japanese names.
The World Be Enclosed is Kakomareta Sake. Sakai. Other Worlds is Toy Sakai. She and Her Cat is Kanojo to Kanojo no Neko. Voices of a Distant Star is Hoshi no Koi. Koi?
Koi.
Koi. Igao is Mina no Uta. The place promised in our early days, Kumo no Muko Yakushoko no Bashu.
No. Kumo no Muko Yakusoku no Basho.
You can tell which one of us is better at Japanese. 5 centimeters per second. Myoshoko go Senshimitero. Yeah, no, it's like I don't. There's a reason why I don't speak foreign language.
Okay, fine. Look, children who chase lost voices. Hoshi o Kodomo. Someone's
I don't
gaze.
watch subbed anime. I'm a dub guy.
Whatever. Okay.
I don't hate subtitles though. I just prefer dub.
Someone's gaze. Dareka no Manazashi. The Garden of Words. Kotonoha no Niwa. Your name. Kimi no Nawa. Weathering with You. Sorry. Tenki no Ko. Suzume. Suzume no Tojimari.
Yeah.
Apparently he's also worked on video games.
Yes, he's the director for a lot of the either trailers or the opening cinematics.
Nice.
He's also has commercials.
Apparently.
A bunch of them. Yeah.
We're not going to go over everything. Just, wow.
He also he wrote the books for some of the movies too.
Wow.
Like Your Name and Garden of Words. Like he wrote the books for them.
Then he also worked on manga.
Yes. That's kind of normal for directors and producers to also work on manga.
In the West, usually you have like, okay, you're a producer. What kind? Everything. No, that's not how it works. Pick. Movies. Pick.
Yeah. Well, that's in the West. But in Japan, for like anime, a lot of times the directors and producers work on stuff. Like Akira Toriyama, he did the manga and the anime and the movies and the light novels.
There are light novels?
Weirdly enough, yeah. Most of them aren't canon, though. He worked on them, meaning like he read through preliminary drafts and like, yeah, okay, good enough.
Okay.
I like making noises.
We know, man. We know.
Hey, I let my ADD win sometimes.
Sometimes?
Sometimes.
No.
Okay, so it's like 85% of the time. That's sometimes.
That's most times.
Potato.
Someone's getting a dictionary for Christmas.
I mean, I guess it's better than what I got last Christmas.
A hippo?
No, we just didn't include dictionary.
I try to keep this as PG as I can most times, but okay then.
Yeah, fuck PG.
I hate you. Okay, back to the movie.
So, the beginning of this movie starts very similar to how Your Name starts, with the two main characters just kind of passing each other, like, oh, they're pretty. Like, literally, they just kind of notice each other, they barely talk to each other, and that's it. They're in love.
But to be fair, specifically, Suzume is the one who's like, holy shit, he's beautiful. Literally,
Yeah.
she says beautiful.
Shoto is a very pretty man.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying, she says beautiful and not handsome, and I'm like, yeah, I can see it.
I mean, he is.
Also, this movie has very, very, very many allusions to both Ghibli and Hayao Miyazaki.
Well, Shinkai is known in Japan as the next Miyazaki.
Like, at first I thought maybe this was like, hey, Miyazaki, I'm known as you type thing. But no, it's actually...
No, he is just a big Miyazaki fanboy. Like, he'll state in interviews all the time that his favorite anime of all time is Castle in the Sky. And like every time someone compares him to Miyazaki, they go, "Oh, you're the next Miyazaki," or you're good enough to succeed Miyazaki. He usually plays it off and goes, "Oh, no, you give me too much credit, or you overestimate my talent."
Like, there's no doubt he's talented, but I mean, I wouldn't call him Hayao Miyazaki, but I also would not call him that. You know what I mean?
I would put him at least on that level. I mean, yeah, his catalog of work is, infinitely shorter, but he's also only been doing this for the last 30 years. Miyazaki's been doing it for the last 50.
Not just that, he also uses a lot of CG, so I'm pretty sure Miyazaki's like, how dare you?
Yes, Shinkai embraces the more modern techniques, but he makes them work. And he started his own production company. Like Comics Wave Films is his production company, and it's, I don't know, he gets to do things his way then.
And the thing is, not everybody, I can't say that. A lot of people should know, if they follow animation of any kind, specifically computer, that everything is generated using shapes, polygons and shit. So, the thing is, for some reason, and this is a compliment, Shinkai's animation never seems to use animation like that. It doesn't look blocky, it doesn't look circular, it looks natural, kind of like if it was actually drawn.
Yeah, his style is it's like very natural, but it's also, I mean, it's a joke from Team 4 Star of it's semi unnatural because, like we said, in computer animation you use a lot of blocks, a lot of squares, a lot of triangles and stuff, but you see a lot of rounded edges, a lot of smoothness to Shinkai's work, almost to the degree of all these squares make a circle.
Okay, this is one of those times where I wish I had something to throw at him. Wait, there's a kitty. No, I'm kidding.
Don't throw my cat.
I'm not gonna throw your cat. It was a goddamn joke, you son of a bitch. You make me look like a cat thrower.
I mean, I can throw my cat. You can't throw my cat.
I'm not gonna throw your cat. Also, you're evil.
I'm not evil. He likes it.
Kinky cat. Okay, so... No, specifically though, like, all of his films look so beautiful. They look like paintings, I swear.
They are beautiful. They're just so well animated. The voice acting in the Japanese is also wonderful. And Shinkai he likes to work with the band Radwimps, and they do phenomenal music for his movies. Especially, like, the main theme that they did for Weathering With You, that they did both in English and a Japanese version for. And the theme that they do for this movie is also great. But, weirdly enough, the main theme that you get that's in all the advertisements is not the, like, main theme of the movie.
Hold on, let's see if we can pull up the music, just so we can say the name of the theme. That is okay, cannot find the music apparently.
You might have to go to the Radwimps page for that one, which it has a link to it when you have the main page open here. Like, go back to where we were.
I know.
Clicky, clicky. Clicky, clicky. You can't see it. We're literally just scrolling Wikipedia here. Yay!
These guys are all over the place. Very eclectic. Wow.
Oh yeah, they're a hell of a band to begin with, but they work so closely with Shinkai to do so many of his soundtracks. Suzume.
Okay, they worked on the song, but they're not the main singers, basically, for it.
No, they don't do the vocals.
Yeah.
They just do the music for it. Composer Kazuma Jinoichi. Like, he composed the music for them, and they just played it.
Okay.
But they're a great band.
I don't disagree. And one thing that I, not hate about this movie, but just didn't really like, the evil cat. Sounds cute, but then turns out to be evil. It, Madoka Magica vibes.
Yeah, a bit. But then it turned out that the cat was actually good.
Mostly.
Like, even the main character was just like, assumed that the whole premise of these doorways to the ever after that are causing this giant evil worm to escape that has to keep getting trapped. They're assuming because she freed the cat that he's the one opening doors and causing this. But it turns out, what you don't find out till damn near the end of the movie, no, he's just helping them find the open doors so they can close them for him.
Yes, but then you find... Okay, we're giving away the movie. It's been a year. 2 years. A year.
2 years if you saw it in Japan.
Who saw it in Japan in 2022?
We have friends who travel. We also have an international audience. I'm sure somebody listening to our voice right now lives in or was in Japan in November of 2022 and watched this movie.
Fine then. In that case, my apologies. Gomen nasai. Perdón.
Jinkoya.
Paso doble?
Sure, why not?
Okay. That was an inside joke you all don't need to know. Let's see. Where were we? Right. Okay. So, for some reason, the chair that Sota... We're going out of order. You know what? We're going out of order.
We don't need an order. Just go for it. If you want to know the plot in order, watch the movie.
Now, specifically, the main character, hero dude, Sota, becomes a chair. And then, too much... I don't know. In the same vein as many horny anime-watching dudes, she sits on the chair.
I mean, it is the dream of many a man to become the seat for a beautiful young woman.
No comment, even though I probably should. Now, specifically...
He's also got 3 legs that are the exact same length.
God damn you.
It's not my fault that she made him a tripod.
The only thing I'm gonna say is, if anybody knows the story of Yosuke, he's probably a descendant.
That's so wrong, it's right, buddy.
That's so... Actually, I'm gonna say that's so right, it's wrong. On that one.
A little from column A, a little from column B.
Yes. Now, in case you didn't know, look up Yosuke, a samurai from Japan, and you'll get the idea.
I like having a built-in mute button.
Okay, whatever.
I can turn my mic off and not have background noise now. I can also cut myself off mid-scream.
Okay. Alright.
I'm having fun with this microphone. This is going to be my new mic.
Okay. Evil Cat, who's not an evil cat, is called Daijin. And instead of maintaining his job of being something called a keystone that helps to bind or close the doors to the ever after, or the door, a door. There are 2 of them, basically. And he gives or curses his job of being a keystone onto Sota.
Yeah. Because he was in the way, because he wanted to become Suzume's kitty.
Literally. Because she picked him up while looking at the door, and she left the door open. Then, when she was picked up, he turns into a cat and runs. And then she runs after him, leaving the door open. And then... not life ending. Japan ending. Consequences ensue.
Which is normal. Teenage girls become magical, and then the world ends up almost destroyed.
I mean, if it was good enough for the Bible, why wouldn't it be good enough for Japan?
It's good enough for Sailor Moon.
She kind of fell into that situation. It wasn't her fault.
She kind of fell into sitting on a college-aged man.
Okay, don't ruin the childhood of many, many people who watch Sailor Moon without knowing any better.
The people who didn't know that she was 14 and Tuxedo Mask was 22?
She was technically younger than that, but moving on.
Or the people who watched only the Deke dub, so they didn't know that Venus and Uranus were lesbians? Or was that Venus and Neptune?
No, that was the... ¿Cómo se llama? The other sailor. The other sailor ladies who were like No,
It's
goddammit.
either Venus. I think it was Venus and Neptune. They were lovers, but they made them cousins in the dub we first got.
Okay, maybe you're right. I thought it was somebody else, like other planets, but okay, we'll go with yours.
One of them was definitely Venus.
Look, that's not even the worst part, okay? The other part is, they were technically not hermaphrodites, but both male and female at once.
That would be hermaphrodites.
Yes, but with today's gender climate, I'm not sure if that's still a politically correct or scientifically correct term.
Well, the scientifically correct term would be intersexed.
No, I thought that was the...
Intersexed is having both genitalia at the same time.
No, okay, no. Hermaphrodite is having both, or being able to convert.
The proper name for that is intersexed.
Hold on, let me finish. Hold on. That's the scientific term, not intersex, hermaphrodite. But intersex is different or can be the same. It's a very convoluted mess in terms of gender dynamics and gender expression.
Yeah, I mean,
it's something I don't know a lot about.
Neither of us do. Well, at least we're willing to admit that we don't know.
Yes, like, okay, I don't want to turn this political. Let's just move on.
We'll just say we're not coming at this from a place of intolerance. We're coming at it from a place of ignorance. We don't know better. If you're more informed on the subject, please comment. We're willing to listen, and we're always open to learning.
And we read the comments. Not like we get a lot of them anyways.
We do read the comments.
Let's see. What was my point?
I don't know. There's never a point. That's the point of this podcast.
Sailor Moon. That's it. Sailor Moon. Okay, look. Point is, they weren't just lovers.
She also had an evil cat.
Who was the evil cat in Sailor Moon? It's been
Luna
like years.
was evil as fuck.
Who?
Luna was evil as fuck.
The fuck is wrong with you? No.
Yeah.
Back to the move. Fuck you. Meow.
Meow. Oh god, I can't remember what did American cartoon or was it an anime? They had a cat that's how it meowed. Or just meow, meow.
That sounds like the cat from frickin' Ghost Stories.
This cute little cat that just it's a kitty. Meow.
Not just that. Then the deep voice is like, she's something and a bitch or something like that.
She's a bitch.
Something like that, yeah. That is not a technical difficulty. That is Sean being a clown.
Oh, don't touch me there, Goofy.
And a sexual violence victim?
It's Mickey Mouse being violated by Goofy.
You spend way too much time on Newgrounds, don't you?
I haven't been on Newgrounds since the 90s.
God damn. Okay, moving on.
Look, I'm old school. I remember Angel Fire.
Damn. Okay. Okay, look. Basically, this entire movie takes place from not the exact southernmost point of Japan, but they literally travel basically the entire island or islands from the south, from Kyushu up to almost Hokkaido.
Yeah, okay, they kind of start out just slightly on the opposite side of the harbor from Ehime and end up damn near in Hokkaido.
And it's a,
Because, yeah, Hokkaido, not Hokkaido. Toko, not Tokyo. I know they go to Tokyo for a bit too, but there's
north of Tokyo.
Where the Fukushima disaster happened.
Well, let's just say Fukushima.
Yeah, Fukushima, because that's part of it. When Suzume was a little girl, she lost her mom to the earthquake and tsunami that happened in that region in 2011. And they make direct reference to that, March 11th, 2011. 2011. 2011.
No, 2011, yeah.
Yeah, that was the date of that tsunami. And that was the date that she lost her mother.
And with that, she was basically adopted by her aunt, and she couldn't resist.
It was also the day that she got lost herself in the ever after. Because apparently looking at the Ever After, when that tsunami hit, it swept a bunch of stuff through the doorway into the Ever After. Like a whole chunk of the city.
That, or for some reason, it still maintained the same damage in the Ever After. Like, it was frozen in time almost.
Yeah.
Something like that. I mean, because the Ever After is supposed to be all time at once, and we get evidence of this because after Suzume saves, what is his name again?
Shota.
Wait, it's Shota? Okay, fine.
So, well, it's Sota.
Sota.
Souta, but every time we watched, we just watched it, and I kept hearing it pronounced as Shota. Like, what I'm hearing her say is, well, we watched the English dub, but I'm hearing her say Shota, Shota. And I know his name is Sota. There's no H, but I don't know. Maybe it's just how I was hearing it.
I'm gonna stick with Soda. Anyways, so
Soda.
Soda. Soda. Soda.
Speaking of soda, I have some Olipop here, and it's delicious. I know. I just had to point that out. I'm drinking healthy soda.
It's okay, fine. I guess it's healthy.
It's sparkling water with fruit juice.
Anyways, after she saves Soda and Daijin and Sadaijin, become, what are they called again? Keystones, and they impale the worm with them. Then they meet young. I am sleepy as fuck. Okay, what is her name again?
Suzume.
Thank you. Oh my god, it's the name of the movie. Fuck.
Yeah, okay, there's a scene early on in the movie where you see little girl Suzume in the Ever After, and this older woman gives her this 3-legged chair. And it makes no sense at that point in the movie. And then at the end, we see this event happen where Sota is no longer the chair, but the chair still exists. And Sota notices in the distance after the giant worm is killed that there's a child walking up the hill. So Suzume, current Suzume, who's 17 years old, goes, hold on, I know what I have to do. So she grabs the chair and goes and meets the little kid. And it turns out that the person who gave Suzume the chair her mother made was herself. And that made me realize something kind of sad. Is Sota is technically a priest. That's what the closers are.
Technically.
And he's saying a prayer to the gods and tapping into the energies of people who used to live where these doorways are, and taking their memories and their spirits, and he's returning them to the Ever After, or returning them to the place where the gods live. And that's what gives him the power to lock the doors. Well, Suzume's mother disappeared when the door opened and the earthquakes and tsunami happened in her hometown. So we assumed early on watching the movie that it was the spirit of her mother is the one that gave her the chair. I'm thinking that because they returned the spirits that died in that area to the Ever After, to the afterlife, gave them to the gods basically, that they destroyed her mother's spirit, and that's why they have to have that cyclical, she has to give the chair to herself, because technically she destroyed her mother.
I disagree.
To save the world.
I disagree. I interpreted more as she thought it was her mother when she was a child. She comes back to the Ever After, sees herself as a young child, and presents the chair to herself, so she misinterpreted. It wasn't her mother. It was herself. And she doesn't find that out until she's the one with the chair to give it to herself.
Yeah. I mean, that's a very Beatles way of thinking of it.
Beatles?
I am you, and you is me, and we are all together. I am the Eggman. I am the Walrus. Goo-goo, goo-goo.
I think I'd rather be the walrus.
Or
what? The walrus doesn't get eaten. If anybody understood that reference, thank you. First of all. Secondly.
I mean, no, but he eats a lot of oysters.
Why did you have to tell them?
They still won't get it.
God damn it, fine.
Nobody reads.
People, please read Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass.
And I was going to say, the version of the movies that we're talking about is from the fucking 30s.
Yeah. Anyways. Now, the movie also spends literally the entire movie basically exploring what are called haikyo, Japanese abandoned places. Now, we are talking about old, anything that's been abandoned. We saw a town, we saw a amusement park.
A hot springs or an onsen.
Onsen, yes, that too. And what was the last one? There was 4, right?
There's the onsen, the high school, the amusement park. The train tunnel.
Train tunnel. Oh, yeah. Oh, also her hometown that was near Fukushima.
Yeah, her hometown. So the 5 places that we see. So the train tunnel in Tokyo, the abandoned train station.
And that had old buildings. At least it was made in the same old style as like temples I've seen, you know?
Yeah. And that's also where Sarajin comes.
Yes. Because Sarajin is the eastern keystone. And
the eastern pillar.
Eastern pillar, yes. And then just Daijin is the one in the east.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm fucking weird. Deal with it.
Anyways.
I mean, the plot of this movie is... It's very Shinkai. Anybody, if you've seen Weathering with You, or if you've seen Your Name, you know what I'm talking about. It's a semi-convoluted story that's not the easiest to follow along with, but it's also... It keeps you engaged. Like, you might not know exactly what's going on, but you're invested. You want to know what's going to happen. And they usually do wrap up. They kind of explain what's been going on towards the end of the movie. And this movie does that too. You do have that not quite exposition dump, but it's an exposition dump. It's usually right before the final encounter. And that's what it is after Shota, at the midpoint of the movie, kind of accepts his fate as being the new Keystone and allows himself to be used to seal the worm. You find out that Shota's grandfather was the previous closer, and he's in the hospital because he's old and sickly, which is also a theme for Shinkai movies. They usually have the older, wizened person who can help you, but he's in the hospital. So Suzume goes to see him and talk with him, and he berates her a little bit for being sad because she did nothing wrong. That's what Soto's job was. It was to close the doors, and if becoming a keystone helps seal doors permanently, that's the ultimate thing he could do. And then he kind of gives the exposition dump of how the gods work and the doors and all of that.
And, okay, this movie's definitely not predictable. It gives you little pieces of information here and there to start putting it together, like you said. And I like that. It's not predictable. A lot of movies nowadays are predictable. It might just be because we're old, but you know what I mean.
And this is another one of those movies, which is another very Shinkai thing, where we watched the Netflix version with the English dub. There's basically 3 versions of this movie. There's the Japanese theatrical release, the US theatrical release, and then the US streaming release. The streaming release uses all the unmodified footage of the Japanese theatrical release, but has the English dub. The English theatrical release has modified footage, so you don't see the car logos, you don't see exactly what the apps are on people's phones, you don't see the phone logos, and you don't hear company ringtones. A good example of that is in Weathering with You. The guy buys an iPhone, and all throughout the movie, when you watch it in Japanese, or if you watch the English dub, but the video, the visuals are the Japanese visuals, you see the Apple logo on it. But if you listen to the Japanese audio, you hear that distinct Apple ringtone, which in the US theatrical release they had to edit out. But in the US streaming release, you get the original audio for background sounds. So you get the sounds of the cell phones and stuff like that. And you see that in this movie too. There's at one point where you see her phone and she very clearly has Snapchat and TikTok. You see full logo and the words with the little app icons on her screen. I know for a fact if you watch this in the US theaters that it would have been like Chat Snap and Tactic or Tiki Tiki. And the logos would have been blurred or some slightly different thing. The back of the phone would have had no logo on it, and it would only vibrate when it rings. You'd never hear an actual ringtone.
Well, fuck. Okay.
Have you ever noticed that in some movies? Just like sometimes the characters are like they run across the room like they hear their phone ringing, but all you're hearing is the boom, 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 boom. Like how the fuck did they hear that from across the crowded room? Because in the original release, it's playing that loud-ass, obnoxious iPhone ringtone. Or the default Samsung ringtone for Androids.
Look, I was just surprised that, number one, the dude was driving a Ford. Number two, that they had an actual McDonald's.
Yes, they did not censor out the McDonald's to make it a McDonald's. It was a McDonald's. A proper McDonald's.
Yes, MC, not MAC.
Which, again, is a Japanese thing. Like, if we had been seeing this with the English visuals, that would have been changed. And that's something you see a lot. It happens more often in these newer movies that use more CG, because it's a simpler thing to do. Because you can do it in post-production. You can just say, okay, this is the version we're sending here, this is the version for everyone else.
Okay, I understand it's licensing and all that shit, but it annoys the fuck out of me. It's the same thing with fucking Dragon Ball Z and Dragon, Bunt the Dragon, whatever that song is. And then having Cha-La, Hechala. I fucking love that song. The only reason I know it, Spanish DBZ.
Yeah, but the Bruce Faulconer Rock the Dragon is a good song, though.
I don't disagree, okay? But I also know I missed out on something because I'm bilingual. Sure. I was about to say bilingual.
I mean, there is one thing that Faulconer did for DBZ that is the one time I would absolutely say he surpassed the Japanese. His Super Saiyan 3 theme, the theme we hear the first time Goku goes Super Saiyan 3, with the guitars and everything, that is fucking amazing, and I will always say superior to the original music that we get in the Japanese version.
Buddy, I'm Mexican. I disagree fucking heartedly.
It hits you in the feels harder. Just the way those guitars kind of amp up, they slowly start coming in.
I can't. No, I'm not going to. No.
The pianos are nice, but when he gets that full transformation, you get that electric guitar, that don 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 don, like it just hits. Because you get that little kind of bun dun dun bun dun 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 bun dun dun dun. It's slowly amping up. It switches from Boo's theme to Goku's theme to this new version of the Goku theme, the Savior theme, the Super Saiyan 3 song.
Back to Suzume.
Which also has great music, again by Rad Wimps, which is just phenomenal. Which also has multiple versions. Which, again, I have to talk about another Shinkai film, Weathering with You, where they did two completely separate versions of the main theme, one in English for the English release and one in Japanese for all other releases. Both are good. I would say the Japanese vocals are much better. They fit the pacing of the song better, but the English is good. It fits the movie.
I'll agree with you there. Yeah. I mean, I like both, but yeah, the Japanese fits better. I mean, it was made probably in Japanese first.
Yeah, the Japanese fits better for the tone and flow of the music. But the English fits better for the tone and flow of the movie. if that makes sense.
This movie also, with the traveling through Japan, it kind of reminded me of a trip that I wanted to do myself, where you go from Chicago to California. I forgot where it is, but Route 66. Just going and then seeing the towns that were there, making some friends, that sort of thing. Now, if it weren't for today's political climate, I would. The problem is, lots of laws that don't like brown people.
Especially when you get to Arizona.
Unfortunately.
We were lucky that I do not break the law when I drive. When we had to drive through there on our way back from Las Vegas last winter.
Yeah.
I mean, we were only in Arizona for a few hours, but still. A few hours is all it takes sometimes.
Yep. I mean,
two big brown guys driving a car registered to a white lady. That wouldn't have ended well for either of us.
Yeah, we probably should have gotten some kind of notarized letter or something.
Oh, I did. I had a thing on my phone.
Buddy. Fuck, okay.
Oh, for the just in case. I had a just in case that I had permission to drive this that was not registered to me.
Okay. Okay, just the way this was set up, okay? We have gods, we have spirits, I still don't really know what the fuck the worm is. Is it just a worm of calamity? Is it just forces from the earth trying to leave in order to cause calamity? I don't really get that part.
Yeah, they don't really explain that. And it seems like all the major disasters, especially things that were caused by earthquakes throughout all of Japanese history, apparently are when this worm is trying to break into the real world. Because as its body comes out, it always goes up into the air and then has to crash down. And when it crashes down, even though most people can't see the spiritual worm and they can't feel it, you feel it impact as an earthquake. And their big example is when it had to be sealed, the last time it was completely sealed away, was basically during the Edo period, the Great Kanto Fire, which is a big historical event for people who are familiar with Japanese history. Apparently that was caused by this worm coming through and being sealed.
Apparently it wasn't sealed fast enough, from the looks of it, at least. We get a bunch of 3 to 4.0 Richter scale earthquakes on this.
Yeah, the bigger the earthquake, the more of the body comes through. And if the entire body and the head comes through, it's capable of breaking the planet.
Much like a penis and a hymen.
Sure, we'll go with that.
You're the motherfucker who said it was phallic and like a dick.
Okay, the first time they showed a head breaking through, it's a penis. It really looked like a penis.
Just to give you a picture. Uncircumcised.
Yeah.
Imagine a bulbous alien head. Alien from the Aliens franchise. And then bursting through. Like when it did with, what's his name? Not Kurt. Fuck, he's dead now. I forgot his name. Damn.
Robert Hurt.
That's it. Hurt. Yeah, Robert Hurt. Or John Hurt.
Oh, yeah, and it burst.
Oh, it was John Hurt.
John Hurt. And it burst through, and it was trailing wisp of red and other things.
It was really, really brown and purple.
Uh-huh. It had a very angry purple head.
Okay, how come you make the joke, then I lean into it, and then you're just yeah, I'm gonna go with this?
Because you very rarely lean into my jokes.
Fuck it, why not?
Usually I make the joke and you're like, really, goddammit, shut up.
I thought it was funny.
That's right. It's rare when you think I'm funny, just like it's rare when you're actually funny.
Just remember, I'm Jewish. I'm one of God's chosen people. No.
Okay, sure. Except for that period between 1937 and 1945 that we don't talk about.
We can talk about it.
I'm German. We don't talk about that.
Wait, I'm also part German.
Then you don't talk about it either. That's also why you're not funny. It's the two parts of your inner that they're battling each other.
Just because you people can't see, I'm going to tell you exactly what's happening. Stare.
Care Bear stare?
Care Bear stare?
Care Bear stare.
No. If anything, it's trying to do the whole Carrie thing. Burst into flames. Stare.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
That's kind of the point.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
Yay!
In Carrie, that was not a good thing.
I know. I can only in so far.
This movie is also partially a road trip movie in the sense of making friends. Like, once Soto becomes the chair, it kind of starts this cross-country journey for Suzume and the chair, chasing this cat through following him through social media. And she ends up in Ahime, and she meets this farm girl named Chika. Then she chases the cat to Kobe and gets a ride from a bar hostess named Rumi. And then they end up in Tokyo and they meet the
Landlady.
the shopkeepers that take care of Soto's place and his best friend. The fuck was his name?
Serizawa.
Serizawa's, yeah. So it's just making friends. As it literally seems like they were half-assedly trying to shoe in the whole. It's not the journey; it's the friends you made along the way. Except they never talk about any of the rest of them ever again in this movie, except for Serizawa.
Okay, one thing though. Besides that, specifically, they're chasing a cat that's being posted about all over social media. So my question is, how did the people know the cat's name? The cat must have talked. How does nobody think, Demon?
No, they named it Daijin, and it just stuck to it.
No, the cat's name is actually Daijin.
Yeah, but on social media, they have a thing. Like one of the first posts they showed was somebody just said, I found this weird cat. He kind of looks like a Daijin to me.
Okay, what the fuck is a Daijin?
I don't know. No idea. Probably just the name that they came up with.
But the cat even says, my name is Daijin. Okay, reading on it.
Minister. He's a priest. He's the spirit of a priest. Minister of the left and minister of the right. Daijin and Saidaijin.
So one's a Democrat, one's Republican.
Oh my god.
I'm joking, you son of a bitch!
I was going to say, is that why the one's so big and black? It's the evil one? Is that the Republican one? He's from the far right? Evilness.
If we get cancelled, it's your fault.
Trump cat.
No, God, no.
I close the doors. All the doors. I'm so huge. Huge. The people love me because I've been indicted so much. I'm just like one of them.
I've never been indicted, so you're not like me.
That's why you're not his target audience. You don't love him.
Yay! Oh, God, there's a story about this, okay? During Trump's... I might have told the story, but during Trump's presidency, for some reason, somebody on Telemundo's production team or show production teams decided to make a show called... Sorry, The Wall. Literally, it's called The Wall. Okay? And I laughed my ass off for like at least 5-10 minutes. And then my mom's like, what the fuck are you laughing at? And I told her, okay, these guys are idiots. Okay? They literally made, during a time where a lot of immigrants, probably, are scared, okay, because of immigration, and specifically Mexicans, okay, are afraid because of everything that Trump said. And then they decided to make a show called The Wall. The only thing left to do is if they come up with the idea of making a show, Who Can Cross the Border?
I mean, that would make a great reality show. Just take a camera crew, set it up right there on the Rio Grande, and just record people swimming across.
That's not what I meant, but okay, whatever.
Ooh, they set up an obstacle course, and then they build a rope bridge across, and you call it Path to Citizenship.
That would be even worse.
Who wants a green card? Honestly, I'm surprised. Like, they have the stupid marriage shows where people get married or order brides and stuff. I'm honestly surprised they have not made a Who Wants to Be a Citizen. And it's just like a bachelor or a bachelorette type show. And the grand prize is you get married for papers.
Pretty sure that's illegal.
Is it though?
Yes.
I mean, it's illegal to pay people to marry you too, but The Bachelor has existed for, 17 seasons?
Moving on.
It's illegal to pay men to date you. The Bachelor exists.
When the husband's so fat and the wife looks like that, that's immoral. You're laughing a little too hard at that. What the fuck?
I don't know. I like when you sing. You should sing more.
Moving on.
Do better things. There is no better thing.
Okay, like, the movie's a little weird. It's not bad. It's actually a really good movie. The music is awesome. The theme about the road trip, trying to do stuff, is awesome too. The weird part is, like, they basically shoehorned Su Daijin in there at the end.
A bit. Like, they needed a reason for it.
Not just that. Then her aunt, Tamaki, comes in later on, and apparently she's actually possessed by Su Daijin.
Yeah, like, they make Daijin seem like he's playful and whimsical, but also a little malevolent.
I was going to say a little shithead.
Yeah, but they absolutely made Daijin fucking, like, he amplified negative emotion. Like, every little, like, thing that the aunt had going against Suzume, like, any little annoyance was just amplified to, you're a little bitch and get out of my life, you ruined my life.
Yeah, basically. And at the same time, then suddenly she realizes, wait, that's not my aunt. Because she couldn't remember that the aunt couldn't remember that she also said, you are my daughter now.
Yeah.
So it's the discoveries in this are a little weird. Maybe this is one of those things where the translation didn't go well, because we saw that again in another movie, remember?
Yeah.
Like, I forgot what the movie was, but it was another Japanese movie.
I can't think. Wait, what? Oh, no, I spaced for a second there.
We saw a movie where we were talking about the difference between the dub and the sub, and the subtitles actually explained something and made it sound less creepy. I forgot what the movie was. You remember what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah, it might have been one of those Spanish ones that we were watching that we decided not to actually record the episode on because there's like the movie was good, but it wasn't that good. Like there's nothing to talk about because like the movie was boring. It's one of those. It was a good movie to watch, but there's absolutely nothing you can review about this movie because it's just super generic.
No. It was an anime movie.
Was it an anime movie?
Yeah. Okay. Look. Whatever. I think that the dub might not have done the sub justice, so I think that's part of where we're losing it, but I'm not sure.
True. Because I have my Netflix set to put the auto subtitles up, we were getting the subtitles from the Japanese audio, not the subtitles of the English audio. And there were some times where it's like, the words on the screen are explaining what's happening better than the people talking. But then there were times where it's like, those subtitles are vague as shit. Thank God they said this differently in English.
Yeah, and I mean, there are limits to language, syllables, and all that jazz. But at the same time, it's it can be annoying when
Yeah,
that
like
happens.
certain scenes that they change the dialogue heavily. Like, it's not just, let's make this make more sense because it's a different language. Like, that's not even close to the point of what the fuck they said.
Exactly, and I don't speak enough Japanese to know what the fuck they meant.
Yeah. I know it happens. Usually it's pretty rare for them to be that badly off, but I have noticed it might just be an issue with the Netflix translations on things. Because I noticed there's a huge thing for, especially Korean. Like if you watch K-dramas on Netflix or Squid Games, I remember that was in the news a lot. Well, at least in pop culture news, that the dub of Squid Games and the subtitles for Squid Games were often completely wrong. Like you would hear someone say something in Korean, and then the subtitles were on the screen. I was like, that's not that word, or like, all those words don't make that sentence. It should be this. And even with my limited Korean, I'm like, yeah, no, they said something different there. And I know I pointed it out. I forgot what movie we were watching.
The space one?
Space one?
Little girl who's a robot, or becomes a robot, and she saves the world because she can, like, manipulate matter and shit.
No, I mean, that happened too. But no, there was one of the Spanish ones we were watching where, like, even my limited Spanish, like, there are points where I paused, like, that's not what they said.
Oh, the political
Look at the subtitles that were on the screen. Was it the teddy bear one, or was it the... No, not the teddy bear one.
Yeah, I think it was the teddy bear.
That had some moments in it, too. But the
political one.
The political one had a lot of moments of, that's not what they said. I know that's not right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm nowhere near fluent in Spanish, but I know enough. And when it's egregiously wrong, even I can point out that that's not what that sentence means.
This is why it's helpful to be multilingual, people. I don't care how many languages you speak, but if you speak more than one, you can understand literally the world differently.
Yeah. And sometimes they're close, or at least the general meaning that they're putting out there is the same. But if you know the languages, sometimes it's like, that's just not right. And I saw that sometimes here. Again, we had the Netflix subtitles playing. It's like, that's not even close to what the fuck they said. That's not even the same emotional range.
Yeah, like, okay. A word in Spanish that's very difficult to translate is estrenar, which is basically translated as either maiden voyage or breaking it in, or not breaking it in literally, but that's the idea behind it, kind of. It literally means to use for the first time, to kind of like honor the clothing, as it were.
Yeah, so it would make sense that it has a different general meaning, contextually speaking. But sometimes it's used, and it's like, that's not, like, that doesn't even make remote sense where you used it.
But you can only do so much to try to convey an idea.
Yeah. And I get that. There's a lot of languages like that. Even English is kind of like that sometimes. Where sometimes you just have to insert a word, and it's like, that's not what that means. That's fucking what it means now, though. It works in context, but it only works in context.
I mean, all in all, it was a good...
Like every Shinkai film, it is absolutely worth the watch. Definitely. If you can find this movie, it's currently on Netflix as of the recording of this, which is April 14th, 2011. 2024.
I was going to say, holy shit, I'm 21 years old again. Yay!
Going back in time. No, yeah. April 14, 2024 is when we're recording this, to date ourselves. We are well aware that we do not post these as quickly as we record them. But that's because our personal lives get in the way, so we have to batch record sometimes. Sometimes we're doing these 2 or 3 in a day. But as of that date, it is available on Netflix if you have Netflix. So check it out. Watch it. Usually movies like this, popular ones, they hang around for quite a while on Netflix. I know this one is new-ish, like it was just added like a week ago. So it'll probably be up here for a couple months. So it should still be on Netflix by the time we post this, because it should come out in a couple weeks.
Like Sean said, I personally think it's a great film. It kept me guessing, and I appreciate that a lot. It's like every other Shinkai film in terms of being beautiful art, beautiful story, beautiful voice acting. There are parts where it had a little issues, but not bad. It was really good. And I think that's probably going to be it for us, because, I mean, there's not really much else to say.
No, it's a great movie. The visuals are beautiful. The music's great. Like Jorge said, the voice acting has some moments. That's my phone, my Gundam alert. I love it. Always interrupting me. That's probably my beautiful girlfriend asking us if we want dinner now or a little bit later. But it's a great movie. It's worth watching. We're probably not going to check it out tonight, but I will probably rewatch this movie another day in Japanese, just because I like the little differences with the Shinkai films between the Japanese and the English. It's something you don't always get, or sometimes people don't appreciate. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of subtitled anime. That doesn't mean I hate it. I am not one of those people of like, oh, you must watch dub over sub, and you're a bad person if you don't watch it this way. Like, no, I get it. There are differences. Each one has its own style. Sometimes you get better meaning with the subtitle than you do with the dub, but sometimes you hear more emotion in the subtitle. Sometimes you hear more emotion in the dub. It's whatever you prefer, that's what you prefer. I'd say if you have a chance to watch most, maybe not series, because it can get tedious for a series, but movies. If you're watching an anime movie, if you have the option of listening to it in multiple languages, listen to it in multiple languages.
I agree. Personally, I watch everything in Japanese, English, and Spanish.
Yeah, Jorge's weird like that, but I will admit that there are some anime that the Spanish is perfect on. That is why I love some of my Dragon Ball Z DVDs that I have, because they have the Spanish audio, and I have watched them in Spanish. I've also watched them in French and German. And the Spanish is usually the best one.
I'll give a shout out to German. German can be pretty good.
It can be pretty good. It's fucking weird for Dragon Ball Z, though, but it is pretty good. Spanish is one of those languages, though, that Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball GT, they just work perfectly in Spanish. And as somebody who's very vocal and public about my dislike of the Spanish language, not in a racist way, I just dislike speaking that language, and I don't like when people speak it to me, just because I hate translating it in my head, because my head can translate it, and I don't want to translate things right now.
Stick around. In a couple weeks, we're going to do our own version of Chala He Chala in Spanish.
It's the same song, though.
It is, but we're going to sing it.
Chala He Chala.
No importa lo que suceda.
Yeah, I can't do that part.
All right.
But that's it for now. That is it for tonight. As always, be good to one another.
Keep the faith.
Bye,
Bye everybody.